presenting negotiating after the home inspection.
In today's topic, we're going to talk about negotiating after the home inspection. Now, depending on your agreement of sale with the seller, you would be choosing one of two options when you decide you want to make your offer conditioned upon the home inspection. The first option will be, Mr. Seller, I'm a smart buyer and I'm going to get a home inspection, but no matter what that home inspection says, I can walk and get my money back. Option number two will be, Mr. Seller, I'm a smart buyer and I'm going to get a home inspection. But no matter what that home inspection says, I will be forced to negotiate with you before I walk away and get my money back. Now, typically, I do suggest that my buyers go with the option two because the name of the game is the buyer wants to buy and the seller wants to sell. So the name of the game is negotiations. Now, the purpose of a home inspection is to make sure that when a buyer gets that home inspection, they look at the home in great details. Usually a home inspection is going to run you about 3 hours on a 2,000 square foot home, and longer obviously on a larger home. So what you're looking for is major structural or major mechanical items that you could not see through your first two walkthroughs in the home. Typically home buyers are looking at floor plans and features, and they're not going to be looking for structural issues, and they're not going to have knowledge of looking at structural issues, so they get a professional home inspector out there to do that for them. So at the home inspection, if you find out that there's a major roof leak, obviously this is something that's going to be a concern of the home buyer. They made their offer conditioned upon the fact that there was no roof leak because on the seller's disclosure, I'm sure they said there was no roof leak. Homeowners may not know that there's problems with the property, and typically that is the case. So you're just protecting yourself and making sure that that roof leak is found out before you actually go to settlement on the property. So when negotiating the home inspection and finding out that there's a roof leak, the best way to negotiate costs of repairs is to get professional estimates. Do not guess on how much something's going to cost. You're going to want to get a professional inspector out there, professional repair. So if it's a roof repair, you're going to get a roofer out there to do an estimate on the repair, and then you're going to submit this to the seller with either asking the seller if they will either pay for it in full, either you'll compromise and you'll pay half and they'll pay half, they'll give you a credit, or they can do the repair before settlement. Typically, I refer my clients to either have the repair estimate credit done, because then only you know how you're going to be doing the repair, and you hire your contractor. So basically what they'll be doing is giving you a credit for that, and you'll bring that much less to settlement. So as an example, if the repair was $1,000 and the seller agreed to giving you $500 of that $1,000, and that's what you negotiated, then you would be bringing $500 less to settlement on the closing cost side of the transaction. So just to give you an idea, whenever there's repairs, you don't want to guess, because the seller will feel like they're being taken advantage of if there's no proof of what that repair cost is. Yes, it does take a little bit longer to get estimates done, but this is an investment that you're going to be living in for the next 5, 10 to 30 years, and you want to make sure you're protected and things go the way you want them to and you're comfortable with it. Hopefully this information have provided you with a little bit more knowledge about negotiating the home inspection after it's complete.
Presenting How Do Banks Feel About Home Inspection Repairs?
Please welcome Melissa Falcone, Mortgage Advisor with Allied Home Mortgage Corporation in Bethlehem.
And for today's topic, how do banks feel about home inspection repairs? As far as how banks feel about home inspection repairs, banks typically frown upon them. Repairs tend to be big red flags in the underwriting process. To see a repair credit on an agreement of sale or a settlement sheet shows the underwriter there may be a high concern about the state of the property. For example, if the results of your home inspection indicate a repair needed for a furnace. Furnace repairs can possibly be expensive. That repair in itself would be cause to concern for the underwriter with regard to the heating system of that home, as well as the cost of the expense. The more repairs that you have to pay for, or you're receiving partial credit for to repair the problem, the more they possibly see that there could be potentially more money taken out of your account, thus less funds available for you to pay your monthly mortgage payment. An important fact to remember is that you're going to be possessing a mortgage on a home. That particular bank that you're taking a mortgage from also has ownership interest in your property as well. Obviously, they're lending their money to you. If you should not make your monthly mortgage payment and they would need to sell that property, pretty much they're going to sell it as it is. They're not going to make any repairs or they're not going to satisfy any repairs from the buyer. So if that's the case, they're going to lose value in getting their money back. They'll lose value in the home, and thus in turn, they're not going to get the money that they actually would like back in the home purchase. I hope this has further increased your knowledge as to how banks feel about home inspections. Thank you.
Presenting the appraisal process, what to expect.
And for today's topic, the appraisal process, what to expect. With RESPA rules in place, the appraisal process has significantly changed since earlier this year. At the moment, all conventional loans require the appraisal to be handled by the HVCC. The HVCC is typically an outside appraisal management company that's in place for banks. These companies were put in place to remove the broker, bank personnel, anyone else in the process of ordering the appraisal. With the HVCC in place, all the appraisals, whether a purchase or refinance, must be paid up front, typically with a credit card in advance. The appraiser contacts the customers and schedules the appraiser. Once the appraisal is completed, the appraiser will complete their report and then submit that appraisal directly to the bank. The customer will then be forwarded a copy of that appraisal to review and will sign a form accordingly to confirm that they have received the appraisal report. Once the customer signs and confirms receipt, the appraisal is then reviewed by underwriting. From my personal experiences with this new appraisal process, I've seen an increase in the appraisal process time length due to the additional parties involved. The average time I have seen it to take from the initial request until completion of the underwriting review has been on an upward of 2 to 3 weeks. Note, if there are any repairs requested by the appraiser or the bank, this may increase the length of time in which the process will be complete. This is why it is extremely important that both you and your broker, work quickly to ensure that the appraisal process is complete before your scheduled settlement date. I hope this has made you more familiar about the new appraisal process. Thank you.